Hey, who'd you talk to? What's going on? It is me. It's Mike Lepre, King Michael. It's December 30th, 2021. 123-02021 for you math geeks. It is Legit Fantasy Football brought to you by LegitPodcast.com. Joining me as always, Genius Kev. How are we, Kev?
Hey, King. Good to talk to you. I'm pretty sure that was a basketball intro.
Was it?
The guys were really tall.
Hold on.
You know it. I keep it good, player. I ain't pursuing this. You know it. I keep it good, player. I ain't pursuing this. You know it. I keep it good.
Hey, who'd you talk to? What's going on? It is me, Mike Lepre, and the Genius Kev here for Legit Fantasy Football with a correct intro brought to you by LegitPodcast.com. Kev, any other problem?
I have no other problems. I think we're good.
We are good. Joining us, Kev, for the football show that has two intros, Mastradamus M1. What's going on, Matt?
There is a problem. I didn't win. Now I have to face the music of King Michael.
This is true.
With a monstrous fucking victory. I said I needed 30 points out of Tyler Boyd, and I got 20.
Yeah.
And had I got 10, I would have matched King Michael. Listen, the story of that one is I was spot on about my assessment. Can you
hold that for 1 second? Hold it.
Go ahead.
Give me 1 second. It's December 30th, 2021. I am drinking Don Julio tequila given to me by the Genius Kev. I'm pouring it in the neck of the beer. The reason that I am drinking heavily tonight, I want to have a quick moment of silence for the passing on the 26th, the day after Christmas, of Flea Lepre, also known as Felicia Lepre, also known as Mom to me and Brother Ray. It was really quick, very unexpected, really rough to have around Christmas time, and it's been something where I'm like in a different mood every 10 minutes. Like literally, like I'm like a woman that's like on menopause times like 400. Like I don't know, whatever room I go to, it could just bring up my memory, and then I'm a fucking mess. But this is the football show. So Matt, what I want to say to you is this: even during all the shit that was going down in my house, right, all the crazy intensity, we would still every now and check to see if I was beating you. Like, can you believe that? Like literally, like, with all that drama going on, a family member like that happening, and every now and then we would still check to see if I was beating you. And want to know something weird? And you're gonna not believe this, but so that morning, like I'm trying to figure out when I wanted to put my shoe in, fix it or whatever, and I'm like, who do I put? And I had to go. I had to go quick because I had to go. You know, there was things that were important in life, but Rex Burkhead and then like the dude from the Cardinals, like they almost didn't make it in the lineup. Let's be 100% honest.
Oh.
It wasn't the fact that I actually stopped for a minute and was like, I don't know, yeah, I was like, Rex Burkhead's getting a lot of carries. He's gonna be a starter. I'll play him. And then next thing I know, we're both dropping so many points, and I'm like, here's the worst part. So it's getting worse. So let's be honest. So my mom passed on what was the 26th?
Sunday.
The same day as the games, right?
Yeah, Sunday.
So she passed at like 10:30. I don't know if it was before or after that they threw the pass to Deontay Johnson for the win.
For the one score.
But I remember seeing the score, and I remember going, yes. That's how much fantasy is in my blood, apparently. And it's no disrespect to my mom, because my mom used to love to bet the games. Like when I was a little kid, like.
Are
my-
you
my
kidding me,
dad-
King? I think she had a lot to do with helping your ass out.
Oh, dude, she
Listen,
dude.
Rex Burkhead with a career best day. Listen. Of course, I know that you're checking, and I know how much a victory like that means. And if I could give you any peace or happiness on such an awful day, Lord, thank me that my team's demise brings you pleasure, and I am honored to help you on a day of such an awful thing to even speak about.
It didn't feel that great though. I'll be honest, man. Like
No.
I just wanted it. I was like, yeah, but I had no feeling. If I would have lost, I would be feeling exactly the same right now. I was thinking about that before I saw the show. I'd be like, yeah, you know, it is what it is. I mean, I want to beat Kev. Let's be honest. but once again, I'm not like I haven't even looked at my lineup, so I'm not like really fully into it yet. But I think I got a good enough team to beat Kev. Let's into this.
Yeah,
guy.
absolutely.
Trey S. Evening, gents. Full PPR flex. Pittman, Elijah Mitchell, or Chase Edmonds. Thanks.
I'll tell you right now, I didn't see Chase Edmonds doing what he did, but fucking first 2 seconds of the game, he gets like 13 points. And I'm like, this is how it's going to be. All right. Didn't do this for me all year in my league, but thanks a lot, Chase. Hey, welcome back. All right, cool. So, look, you got Pittman. Who's the Colts going against? Because I like the Colts this week. Elijah Mitchell's back. Who is the Colts playing?
Hold on, let me check it. Why do I not have that pulled up? I switched to a different page. That's why, Leopard. Colts are playing the Raiders at home.
I think the Raiders are a wash, and I think the Colts are going to mop them up. And
Yeah,
I like
agree on that.
Pittman. I like. Oh, but you know what? Carson Wentz is going to miss the game, so that's huge implications on that.
Yeah, but you know what that means, Matt. What are you talking about?
What do you think?
That's great news for you. Because then what's his face comes out, right? The backup
Easton's
QB
gone.
Oh, he is?
Sam Hellinger is the straight up backup.
Ugh.
Easton moved on to Seattle, I believe.
Oh, wow. Well, he could fall in there next year.
He could.
That's weird, right? Russ is out. All right,
I believe
so who are
that.
you going to tell this kid to take? Chase Edmonds?
Well,
Kev?
I would go with Chase and Elijah.
there's a chance Wentz
Oh, it's
actually
just
gets
a
out of protocol. It's only 5 days now, so he might clear protocols. If he does, I would go. I would go Pittman. If not, Edmonds.
Hey, Kev,
Chase.
are you amazed? Is anybody else as amazed as I am that the scientists all got together and they said, now it's 5 days?
Don't even.
Anybody?
Yeah.
Was anybody like, wow, like that's a huge discovery? They cut the time down in half. Like they really must have figured something out important.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the games. And Kev, you know I'm right on that one because that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. Well.
Week 16, we're going to breeze through this. So the Titans beat the 49ers on Thursday night. I think that was a big shocker to some of us, right?
Oh, big time.
But like, I've been a Titan. I've actually been. I realize I've kind of gone with the Titans almost every game this year. Like I
You
really have.
almost said you've been a Titans fan, so just say it. Say I've been
That's
a
what I'm
Titans fan.
I have. I've almost followed the Titans to the point where I'm like. root
You
for
said
it.
1 week. I actually like them, but I hate that jersey.
I hate the uniforms. I like the way they play. I like the quarterback. I mean, when Derrick Henry's there, obviously, but I just even like the defense. It's like a defense that hits, which is fun to watch. But all right, so let's go to the first game on a Saturday, which was weird. I don't know if you guys thought the Saturday games are weird, but I don't like Saturday games. It's like I can't commit that much time. This is ridiculous. So Kev, the Browns lost only by 2 to the Packers at home. Let me ask you this. What is this telling us? Is this telling us that the Packers really are not going to be able to be beat? Or is this just telling us that the Browns are just horribly mediocre?
Well, it's kind of both. Like the fact that Baker threw 4 interceptions, horrendous. And like I've been on the anti-Baker train all season, just saying basically he's a good quarterback. He's above average. He's great. You cannot pay him $40 million a year. I think the rest of the world now sees that. But he threw 4 picks and they lost by 2. Like, what the heck's Green Bay doing with all those extra possessions? I mean, seriously, you get 4 extra possessions in a game where you only get between like 10 and 12 possessions in the entire game. You got like an extra quarter more possessions than the Browns did, and still they only won by 2. So that makes me worry. Definitely makes me worry a little bit about Green Bay when they play better teams in the playoffs. But hats off to Cleveland. Like, their defense never quits. That whole team just plays hard. You know what you're going to get from them. If they're probably only a couple of pieces away, and unfortunately, one of those pieces is a quarterback. What do you think, Master Ron?
It's crazy that you say that too, because if you throw that many picks and you have that many turnovers, you just think that you're gonna have a landslide of a victory. I think we touched on this, but it's just crazy, right? Because I've seen teams win despite the quarterback position before, and if you get caught with a team that has a ridiculous defense, you're always in it. And that's what the Browns do. They'll present chances and challenges. And I remember them, a lot of times this year, whether it be against the Ravens, even the Patriots, playing teams tough, and then all of a sudden just being very vulnerable. And they're a decent team, but they can never seem to capitalize. I seen Baker play pretty bad against the Patriots. I believe it was against the Ravens. He had a similar game, and he couldn't find anybody. He just doesn't look serviceable. And I thought that they would easily get double-digit victories this year. They have a decent enough team, and he's just not good enough.
Hey, Trey said this. We didn't.
Hey,
there you go. All right. Sorry, that was a call from Ray Boom Boom.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, so had to talk to Ray. It's far few in between when you get to talk to Ray. Let's move to what's wrong with the Cardinals? Like, the Cardinals are starting to get beat in games where they don't look tough, and that's a bad sign with me. And the Colts won 22-16. Matt, what did you take away from it?
I was saying this before this game, that the Cards are frauds, and they can't match up with a team like the Colts. It's like Colts are for real, when the Cardinals are more finesse. And when it came down to push and shove, the Colts are about it, and the Cards is what it is. I thought that the Colts would manhandle them. They did. The game really wasn't what the spread was, and I think that if you really match up against the Cards with toughness, they'll buckle.
Kev, you kind of feel the same way?
Yeah, I feel the exact same way. It's sad that this is now 2 years in a row. They finished last season 3-6. I think right now they're in a 3-5 little run, and I think that's got to say a lot about the way the team is built. I think Murray is going to wash out of the NFL. Not wash out, but like he's just. I just don't think he's going to. I just don't think he's the guy, unfortunately. And I don't think Kingsbury's the guy. And I think that's going to hamper them for the next couple of seasons.
Hey, so M1. So I go to send out a post. I want to say like a day or two ago, right? And I go to look back at my post after like an hour later, and I don't notice anything different about it. But my wife goes, "That's funny because nobody even like commented on your post, or like liked it or acknowledged it." I go, "I don't know, maybe they just would read it." No, she's like, "No, people would have stopped on that post." And I was like, "Well," and I checked my settings. Now, keep in mind, I'm the guy who puts all the Facebook posts out about the shows. Come to find out that, like, for the last 3 months, I had the settings on posts to only me. Everything I've been posting for
just to yourself
is only been on my page.
I've always known you to be a very small, tight-knit private guy.
Listen, I've had posts where people haven't commented, and I've thought nothing of it. That's how little I pay attention. No likes, no comments, nothing. Post after post, I think nothing of it.
All by myself.
Ridiculous. Like, the stupidity in me is incredible. Incredible.
It has made for a very less controversial year, so that's a plus.
Oh, jeez, I want to kick myself in my own nuts. Listen, speaking of kicking myself in the nuts, the friggin' Giants lost to the Eagles. I mean, the 8 and soon to be 8-8 Eagles, right? And the Giants are phoning shit in like I've never seen it phoned in. They shut down their quarterback, okay? They have a running back who won't go to press interviews because doesn't want to talk about the fact that, and as people have stated, it's not that he's lost his burst. It's that he's lost his lateral movement, and when he gets hit, he braces for tackles now, where he used to fight through them. And if you go back and watch the video on Saquon, every time he's about to get hit, he gets tight so that his knees don't get whacked or he doesn't get any legs out of place. Instead of stretching or trying to get that extra thing, it's rare that he does it, and he should do that more. And then on top of that, so Gettleman, the GM's just a dead. He's just a dead man walking. And I keep hearing, and I'm huge into the Giants news. It's like every other day I keep hearing they're definitely keeping Joe Judge. They have a plan with Joe Judge for some reason through this many years. It almost was kind of like his plan was to douche out the Giants and just start with a young base and build from there. I'm being serious. So the way that they're losing this year, it definitely draws some of the decisions the Giants have made, it kind of makes me wonder, right? So, but then I hear every now and then, like they might get rid of him.
What up, Jay?
And then I hear that Daniel Jones is going to be definitely given another shot because there's no quarterbacks in the draft worth it enough to go and trade for something like that. And they don't see the Giants making a trade. So they actually see the Giants kind of hanging in there with them for one more year and trying to surround them with better talent, which I'm a big fan of. And whether people want to believe it or not, the kid will prove me right. But Saquon has to go. And I mean, if you're that committed to Joe Judge, I don't know what that says. Does that say that maybe we just are impatient and we need to wait, or that they're just so fucking stupid that they've got all this time spent up in Joe fucking Judge? Kev?
Well, who were the two coaches before him? It was Pat Shurmur and the guy with the hair and the baggy suits. The last coach, the slick back.
Coughlin. No. Oh yeah, I completely gloss over Ben McAdoo.
Yeah.
I gloss him over.
They're kind of like, I think they're kind of like, we don't want to be this picture of instability, so we're going to give Judge a third year because supposedly he has a vision. But the thing is, you have to kind of, where is he showing progress and where is he supposed to be showing progress is the interesting thing for me, because if they were like, you know what, the hell with Daniel Jones, the hell with Saquon Barkley, why would they ever waste money on getting the receiver Galladay from Detroit? And they were just like, look, we're going to focus on our offensive line and our defensive line, and like we're going to show focus there because we're going to lose games anyway. So let's forget about the splash skill positions. But this is our 3 or 4 year plan. But they don't do that. They're not doing that. Like there's all the talk is on the quarterback, the running back, the wide receivers, and that's why I have no faith in the process. But Judge is going to get a third year. They're going to promote that guy Kevin Abrams because he's been. They better
not.
He's been an assistant GM for 20 years. 20
exactly.
years. So either he is a guy, or he isn't. If he isn't, fire him. If he is, give him a shot.
If he was the guy, he would have got it when Gettleman got it when he was the Giants' assistant for 15 years.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? It don't make sense. They got to go outside the system, and they got to find somebody that thinks a little differently than they do, and that clicks with Joe Judge.
They're going to keep Daniel Jones because he still has his rookie deal. They should not extend him. They should not extend Barkley. They should just let all these things expire and try to build. Really good lines. Like try to build really. If they can prove to you by the end, like let's just say at the end of the season, you saw an amazing offensive line and a very solid defensive line. You could say that's progress.
Oh, without a doubt. I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, I don't know if you have that.
If I think the Giants, no matter who's at receiver or who's at running back, period, the Giants could shore up the lines. They have great defensive backs. They have great safeties with Xavier McKinney, the young kid. They have that skill. They've never had linebackers since the 80s. The Giants haven't had. They had Adam Pierce. Not Adam Pierce. Why do I say that? Antonio Pierce. But other than that, I can't think of any really good Giants linebackers like throughout the last 10 years. If you think about it, we've been the defensive line the whole time. So it's like Micah Parsons would have been a great pick. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? He would have fit a need that would have been great for us. But Matt, so the Giants got beat by the Eagles. I don't think that either team looks good. I don't care who won the game, what the score was. I'm not convinced in either team and that either team is going in the right direction. How about that?
Well, you could keep Daniel Jones and add Russell Wilson via trade. I think the contracts would work out. And you could see what you have. Kenny Galladay was added to fill out that wide receiver depth chart, and he should have been the 1A, but we'll see. And I think that's a great point with Saquon Barkley. Not being, maybe he might be full go, but he's not full mind, not recovered, not being tentative. That's crazy. I remember, it's funny because King's going to say he always brings it back to the Patriots. When Brady got injured for the ACL, he was petrified for the next year to step up into the pocket and get his ankle hit. And these players, they don't want to be injured. They're instead of playing free, they're handcuffing themselves and they're scared and they're not giving themselves their full effort. I
When
think
you
we'll
get
see.
scared, Matt, I think once you're scared, once fear,
It's over. It's a wrap.
once the feeling of fear hits you on any court, football, basketball, wherever you are, especially because you're playing in front of people. If you have fear, you're done. You need to
Yep.
you need to take yourself out of the game. Kev, would you agree?
Oh yeah, completely. It's a really really good quote from Dune, the book Dune. The movie just came out. Fear is the mind killer. You cannot do anything when you're afraid. You can't, nothing. And that's what that's what's going on there. And
Matt, let me throw it to you like this. Matt, let me throw it to you like this. You know better than anybody else that I know on this earth what it's like to go up on stage and then immediately take control of 300 to 600 people. And you had to do it as if you knew you could do it all along and you had no doubts. Because if you didn't do that, they would fucking realize it.
They're looking for holes.
You know that, right?
Absolutely. They're looking for holes. You got to be very confident. And, people can't be like looking at you like, I can do that. You have to bring something to the table where you captivate them. And honestly, I always had this, I'm going to control from the first person all the way to the back corner, every single one of them. That's what I'm going for. I'm going for every single buddy, eyes on, nobody's having conversations. That's what I was striving for. And being accepted by a crowd, going up there, having confidence in yourself and having that confidence be accepted and your music be accepted is an unbelievable feeling.
So to me, I would get the same feeling as when I would go out to play like a varsity game. Like when you check in, Kev, at the buzzer, That's always a weird feeling, isn't it? You're like, 13 going in, and then I would kneel and buzz, and I would get in the game. That feeling was always, to me, just like going on stage. But let me tell you one really quick. So the living room, Kev, it's got a stage, and then there's these like speakers, I guess. And like sometimes people will put their stuff on them, but as a basis, like me and Dave are always standing on those. Like we would climb on anything you gave us. I used to cut myself all the time. So there's this girl who, the place is packed, and I come out, and this girl's got a white fur coat laid out on the thing. And I got my beer in my hand, and I literally say to her, "You're going to want to move that coat." And she laughed at me jokingly. I'm like, "You're going to want to move the coat? Like, really, move the coat. We're going to end up over there." Laughed at me. As soon as we started the show, I jumped on top of her coat. And I was doing, when you like squeeze your feet into them like that, you do that like, twist type thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Fuck her and her coat. All right, sorry,
Sure.
Kev. But what I'm saying is, it's the same feel, man. When you're on the basketball court, if you feel fear, they take it from you. They just, everybody knows, and you know.
Oh yeah.
And like, you can't worry about that shit.
Yeah, and that's basketball. Think about football is even worse because it's violent. And if you're hesitant, if you're unsure, if you're slightly scared, you're going to get blindsided by somebody. You're going to take a hit that you would normally take, and instead it's going to be deadly. Yeah, it's
The basic rule of football is to always keep moving, right?
Yep.
You don't ever want to find yourself stopped.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Exactly.
Right?
You don't ever want to relax either, because even when the whistle blows, you get somebody who's 2 steps away and blasts you. You can't relax until you're back in the huddle. You
always make a mistake 100 miles per hour.
Yep. So, King, the last thing I want to say about that game is the Eagles, right? You were talking about either team going in the right direction. It's arguable for the Eagles because they have like a weird gimmicky offense now, and hopefully they make the playoffs because they're like going to be one of these teams that nobody wants to play because they can run the ball for 250 yards. Then you get Hurts, who can get a drive going every once in a while when he needs to, and they have a solid defensive line. Relatively strong defense, so they could be a bad team in the playoffs. Maybe they win one game and then get beat in the second round or whatever. But they could give people problems.
I'm not sold on Hurts, and what I mean by that, I think he's got a lot of talent. Like I think that's become obvious. Like for me to say he doesn't have talent, that's me obviously lying. I've watched him play, but that doesn't mean I think he's a good quarterback. Like certain defenses screw at his head, and you see it. And he shows it. Worst part is this kid shows it. You can see it on his face when he's confused. And that's one thing they got to teach him not to do.
He didn't have a lot of time in college. He really didn't. He bounced around. He went from Oklahoma to Bama. From Bama to Oklahoma. And he didn't get a lot of starts. So he's still young in his progression. He is a stud, though. What he did with the Oklahoma offense, if you got to watch some of his college tape, you can see his big play arm. When he starts to get a little bit of confidence in him, he's going to be all right. And I think that you see greatness in spurts. And if you can captivate that, he can be a monster.
Can I just say something, though, guys? Honestly, we got to really start to judge Oklahoma quarterbacks differently because they're playing for Oklahoma. Like, they're surrounded by other players.
Sam Bradford would have been a bomb-ass quarterback if he was freaking healthy.
But wait, they're always surrounded by other players that play for Alabama. So my point to you is Jalen Hurts, all these guys that came out, they played like 1 year for Alabama, which is almost like a full NFL team, Kev. I mean, basically, from start to finish, they're all players at NFL. Name the guys that have come out last year. Tua, Hurts, who came after Tua, actually.
You know what, though? You know what I said about Jones? I said I was worried about him being surrounded by so much talent at Alabama, and now look at what we got here.
All right. But what you missed was, if you watch the tape, Jalen Hurts does things that are wrong, but because of his athletic ability and the people he had around him, he would make plays at Alabama. Yeah. Whereas Mac Jones just kept dropping balls.
He made most of his plays at Oklahoma, though. He got replaced. If you look at Joe Burrow, he throws 3 picks in a row, and now he's the number 1 rated quarterback in the NFL. Well, you can make mistakes.
His press conference afterwards, the way he handles stuff, like how he
love it,
was awesome.
Borrow? Yeah.
If you gotta want your quarterback to be like that. You have to.
How about Baltimore saying that he's not a Hall of Fame quarterback? He answered the best way you can. He burnt them.
All right. So look, there's 2 teams that I don't know. The Rams, Vikings. Are the Rams for real? I don't know. They need to straighten some stuff out. What's wrong with the Vikings? I don't know. Maybe they're just 8-8, and that's just how they're going to be. But 30-23. Kev, your thoughts at all? If you have any?
Yeah, I'll go quick. I'll go quick on this one. The Rams won a game ugly, and that's good to see that they could do it. Stafford had 3 turnovers, yet they still won. I've been telling you guys all season, I can't predict Minnesota. I don't think anybody can. I don't think anybody knows what they have. I think their defense is pretty bad. They have a lot of offensive talent still, but they just lost Thielen, so who knows if they're going to make the playoffs. But it was a good win for the Rams.
Yeah, I like that. Hey, Kev, by the way, I like the way you did that. Matt, what do you got on that? Anything?
Just watch for KJ Osborne. Dalvin Cook is being Dalvin Cook. I still believe that they can thrive through Justin Jefferson. I said watch out for the Vikings in that game. I like them. That's about it. That's it.
All right. Sidetrack note for a second because what I've been doing. So Matt, who do you think is going to win the legit fantasy football league?
If it wasn't reseeded, I would be going up against Kevin this week, and I would be winning.
Kev, wait, that's all right. Matt, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Kev, did you go back and figure out that you were wrong?
No, I wasn't wrong. I wasn't wrong.
Oh my God!
Get out of here, kid! Come on.
Seriously.
Kev, in the NFL, they reseed. Never mind.
Do you remember when the Jacksonville Jaguars upset the Broncos?
They only reseed because of the bye. Because the 1 and 2 teams get a bye. So when the one team plays the worst surviving seed, the 2 team plays the next worst surviving seed. That's it. Once people are in your brackets, they don't move it around.
That's not true. If the Jacksonville Jaguars played the Denver Broncos in '96, and that was when the Patriots went against the Green Bay Packers, Jacksonville upset the Broncos there. It was 31-28, and the Patriots would have never went to the Super Bowl that year because the Broncos straight owned the Patriots for decades. And that was only because the Broncos played the lowest of the seed, and they played the Jacksonville Jaguars, who was a expansion team.
Yeah, so, you don't remember seeing that like on like Madden. Hey, by the way, rest in peace, John Madden.
We should that.
But you don't remember when he would show the games and they would say like, if so and so wins, they play Green Bay, and you see like San Francisco slash like Dallas
3-4,
but only because of buys. Once you're in a bracket, you don't move. Like look at it from last season. Look at it from the season before. Once you're in the bracket, you can't. Then what? Then you start swapping teams around.
This is the best brick. This is the best brick I've ever seen in my life.
Like I don't
look it up. I went through it.
Go ahead, King. I can't wait to hear what you gotta say.
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know what to say.
We have to be wrong. We have to be wrong, me and you, because he's a genius. He's a genius.
It's a communication thing, or we're not exactly, or we don't know exactly. We're talking about it in different ways. What I will say is,
Kev, you know what it is?
You're right. If a team that has a bye,
talking about 2 different ways. You're talking about it in the wrong way.
Yeah,
we're talking about it in the right way.
No, you're not.
I love it.
You're not. You're not. You're not.
By the way, Kev, that's the best defense you could ever come up with. You're not.
Yeah.
You're not. 3 times in a row. All right, I like it. I'm with it. Bills, Patriots. Oh.
Bills, Patriots.
Look, I'm being honest. Like, I like this game because I think they're gonna meet in the playoffs. Like, I get this weird feeling they're gonna see each other again. And Allen really, really wanted to beat the Patriots.
Yeah,
he just did. Matt, what do you think?
I see a lot of holes. I see Jalen Mills whenever he's being brought into, like, here you go, here's your chance to just be the stopgap. He's always the go-to outlet. No matter who he's up against, he's a leaky faucet. It's crazy that they can't just pay. They went out and had the biggest off season in free agent history, and you just can't shell up like 5, 6, 7,000 more for Stephen Gilmore and lock down J.C. Jackson on the other side. Like, get one more year out of Gilmore. And then instead of he just always tries to be arrogant and look at what I can do. And it comes back to bite him, because if you have a Stephon Gilmore, you might win 3 more games this year. You might win 3 more games this year. You might be a difference of 3 games.
Kev, what do you think of that game, that matchup in general? Moving forward, even.
Like, what Emma was getting onto is Mills got torn apart. That Ian McKenzie caught more passes in that game than he has the whole season, and he was like 11 receptions on 14 targets. So he obviously exposed something. But what you said at the top, completely agree with. Allen wanted that win. He played hard. He put his body on the line, and I think eventually that's going to come back to bite him because you can't run like that as an NFL quarterback and survive forever. He's a big guy. He's a strong guy, but the hits accumulate. So I think if they played again, whether they play Buffalo or whether they play New England, Buffalo should be favored probably three points. But I would not. It's not inconceivable that the Patriots will win, but the Patriots' offense is very, very limited, and it's not just Mac Jones. Like he can make good throws at times, but the offense is a little predictable, and they don't have enough splash plays. Like in the NFL, to win, you can't always have 12-play drives. You can't always have 8-play drives. You have to have chunk plays, and they don't have enough of them yet. So, can they fix that? Can they maybe get a little lucky on defense? Yeah, and beat Buffalo, beat Kansas City. I think they could make it all the way through, but I would not bet on it right now. I thought Buffalo made a good statement.
Good question, Matt. Who's the Patriots' home run threat?
Home run threat?
Like, could just take it to the house.
They don't have. They don't. No. I'm going to tell you right now. If they had, this share would have been the biggest share for James White. They were going to assassinate that Brandon Bolin rule, and when they lost James White, they lost a big head of. He doesn't get recognized enough, and they missed him last year. And I talked about it with Cam Newton. He couldn't get him the ball. It's funny because he could always get the ball to CMC, but he couldn't get the ball to James White. James White would have been a monster this year had he not got injured, and they're missing that as a playmaker. Had they had Julian Edelman, one more person over the middle, and to make those guys who aren't so good on the outside look better, that's what they're looking for. They were banking on Hunter Henry or Jonnu. They didn't come through. So basically, you're looking at Kendrick Bourne, who had a pretty damn good year. Jacoby Myers is still Jacoby Myers. He's not what you want him to be. And they need a playmaker on the outside. N'Keal Harry has shown flashes late. I just would love to have seen what he would have looked like in another uniform because I think it would have been a beast. I think the Patriots make it very tough for wide receivers to feel comfortable. And I think in the NFL, as I've talked about on this show many times, the more you feel comfortable and know what you are expected of, where your players are, what the plays are, the better you'll see the player be showcased. And I think N'Keal Harry, along with a long list of other wideouts who've come to New England, are like, what? And when your head gets smoked, you can't ever be where you're supposed to be. And I think N'Keal Harry would be a talented player somewhere else. I think you'd see his talents flourish if he was just comfortable,
So, all right. So, moving on. Let's move on to the next game on Sunday. Brady was fresh off the Crybaby Bowl. Went to Carolina and beat the Panthers 32-6. Kev, is there anything we have to say about Brady's coming off such a crying?
No, it's like everyone will say he doesn't have this guy, doesn't have that guy. You play the Panthers. The Panthers are in free fall. Cam Newton is benched again. Darnold's gonna get the start. They platooned him in this game, and Darnold's getting the start next week. But nothing. The Panthers did what they were supposed to do, and that's that.
Imagine being Cam Newton, though, Matt. And they bring you back. They bring you back, right? Make a big deal out of it just to bench you again.
He's 0-5.
I love it.
Your thoughts?
No, I love it. I didn't think that. I was surprised the way Cam Newton's, revisit to Carolina started off. I was surprised because, he goes in there, he's doing so well. I think first game of the year, he upset Arizona. And then it came back to earth, and I was like, "Yeah, that's the guy I know."
Okay.
It kind of just sucks that his shoulder is so destroyed that he can't throw the ball. And
even when he came out of college, he was a great big arm, deep deep thrower.
Yeah,
He
Cam.
never had short accuracy.
Yeah.
He had that one good year, his senior year, when they won the championship. That was tremendous. But even in his MVP year was his best year, and he really never had another year where it was like, whoa, you know.
I mean, sorry, I'm eating an apple. Donovan McNabb. Here's what I hated about him.
He's awesome.
Listen, though, this is truth. This is truth. He could be running to his left, right, and then throw to his right and throw it 70 yards on a dart right to a receiver, right? And you'd be like, how the hell did he just throw that? Like, how did that happen? But then on the next play, Kev, the fullback would go out in the flat
Yeah.
and he'd throw it into the ground about 2 yards in front of the fullback. If you think I'm
Yeah.
wrong, go look that up.
No, I know.
Donovan
he
McNabb could not throw short
Yeah.
at all. He was probably one of the worst. He was like in the ground, ahead of the guy. But if he was making these moves and whenever he like stopped thinking, I hate to say this, whenever he stopped thinking and just played, he would make incredible plays. That's my opinion on watching him throughout his career. I mean, I don't know what you guys think about that, but he couldn't throw in the flat. That's horrendous.
No, it's tough. And there's a lot of guys still like that. Zach Wilson has the same problem. He can't throw these little
Nice
short
segue.
precision.
You remember
Yeah, segue.
He can't do it. It's weird.
King,
Matt, what do you think of that game, Matt? Because we're on that game right now. The Jets beat the Jaguars 26-21 at home. Zach Wilson had a 52-yard rushing TD, longest by a QB in Jets history.
Not much to say about it. I did want to say another quarterback that really was a great throw that couldn't throw short was Drew Bledsoe. Whenever he was trying to throw something in the flat, he'd get picked off.
Well, he
I
could hit Ben
remember
Coates over the middle. Now he could hit Ben Coates over the middle.
Ben Coates was great, but if he was ever trying to hit a running back in the flat, he'd get picked off by an outside linebacker. It was like, oh God, But the Jets and the Jaguars, it sucks to see James Robinson get injured this late in the season. Hopefully you got.
Of course it does, Matt.
Mike, we reviewed your game, and I actually said it sucked that James Robinson got hurt on his first touch because M1 really needed him. So go ahead.
Yeah, I don't even think I need him. He got me 1 point. My team showed out, and I'm proud of my team. At least I didn't go down in a ill effort. But James Robinson, this late in the season, you wonder if this is it for him. You got Etienne coming back, but they'll probably draft another running back because you have to. You got to go with depth now, and you're losing James Robinson. I mean, you see they're talking about Cam Akers running and testing his Achilles right now, which is insane. I think it's been like 5-6 months. So I don't know the severity of what he tore it, but you got to wonder about James Robinson, who never really relied on burst to begin with. He was more strength plotter, north and south, which is also why they brought in Carlos Hyde, tried to supplant him, also drafted Travis Etienne. They wanted to get rid of him from the get-go, which is crazy that we even seen a resurgence in James Robinson to begin with. But to see him get injured this late in the year really sucks because he's a winner, and you want to see a winner win.
What is this?
Oh, the world's smartest violin. You're lucky. You're lucky. Oh!
You know what's funny? I'll tell you what, right? Your team did play really, really good. That's what's crazy. Like, they had a great week. The problem was my team had a better week. Like, and I told you. And the only thing I'm going to rub in is this. I tried to tell you that this was going to happen exactly like it happened. And you weren't listening to me. You were just ignoring me like you're doing now. But it happened.
Oh, the real problem was it wasn't receding. If it had receded, and what would it be? He'd be playing you, but
Matt, you would have beat Kev last week easy, and we would be in the Super. We would be in the legit bowl.
I know. This is bullshit.
Kev, what do we get for the trophy? We're getting a belt.
We're getting
right?
a belt. It's gonna be a belt that I'm gonna wear over my shoulder.
Oh, I'm
Like it's like a big
right here.
huge.
Going right here.
It's gonna look like
You know what's funny
a serving
to be
flag.
honest, Kev, you're gonna win because I have never won a fantasy football championship in my life. Never.
See,
Never.
I don't like to hear that.
I've never won. So if I won, actually, you know what though? Now that I'm thinking about the way things are going, Kev, you have no chance.
Yeah, this is the.
I'm winning this. This is sealed and wrapped. I'm gonna beat you bad. It's probably gonna be like 120-70, and that belt's coming home. And then I'm gonna name that belt, and I know exactly what I'm gonna name. So
Lucille.
you got no choice, my friend.
And by the way, for those of you that are like keeping score at home, I did a running back 0 draft. I drafted 6 wide receivers straight.
And everyone was hating on you for weeks about it.
The whole time. Now the effed up thing, M1, is in the championship. I'm gonna start 3 running backs: Rashard Penny, Darrell Williams, and Elijah Mitchell, all who I picked up on waivers. Instead of all those wide receivers I drafted, I'm still going to start 3 running backs. So we have a lot to talk about after the game.
Listen, let's just cut to that matchup really quick. I just want to go over. I really want to go over the teams. It's all right. At quarterback, right? I have Russell Wilson. Kev, you have Matthew Stafford.
Advantage me.
I'm going up against Detroit. You're going up against Baltimore.
Ooh, yeah, that's big for
Makes
Baltimore.
it a little more even. Makes it a little more even. I'll still give you the advantage. First
I'd
wide
rather go
receiver.
against Baltimore, who's paper thin right now. That's huge. It's a big advantage.
All right. First wide receiver: Deontay Johnson, Justin Jefferson. I'll give you Justin
Who's
Jefferson.
Deontay Johnson going against?
Against Cleveland, and Jefferson's going against Green Bay.
That's so tough. I'd say fucking 50-50, to be honest with you.
Here-
Even
here's
though
the-
I'd give a tip of the cap to JJ by a point or two, but I do think Johnson's going to find some, positive ground there.
Well, here's the big problem, M1. It's a Monday night game, and it's going to be Big Ben's last game in Heinz Stadium.
Yes, it is.
What do you everything he throws up is going to be caught as a touchdown. No matter like where it is, how it is, that's what I'm worried about. They're going to be like it's going to be the Big Ben send off.
Yep. Yo, yeah, the douchebag is going to douchebag his way out. Trust
That's
me.
in a mega effect.
Yeah.
So, all right. So wait a minute. So right after that, I have Deebo Samuel. He has Stephon Diggs.
Debo's been the number one
Yeah.
wide receiver in the league this year. Stephon Diggs has been hit or miss. They get Gabriel Davis back.
Deebo's going up against Houston.
Yeah, I'll give you
Deebo's going up
the
against Atlanta. I'm going to take it with Deebo, I think, on that one.
Yep.
I think so too.
All right. DK Metcalf or Moore from Carolina. I forget his first name but
DJ Moore.
Well, the good thing about Moore is Bradford's back. Sam Donald's back.
Yeah. But better than DK Metcalf against the Lions?
DK Metcalf, I told Kevin, and I said it, that I thought Russell Wilson and Metcalf were going to have ill performances, and they did. They had that one touchdown to begin the game, and they didn't find it. They've been having trouble locking up, and I think that you got to continue with the trends. You got to watch out for. Are you putting Russell Wilson in to start?
Yeah, over Tannehill.
Oh.
I would.
I'm going to roll with him.
Who are they playing? Are they playing Houston?
It's so tough.
No, the Seahawks play Detroit.
Okay. Oh, jeez.
That's what I'm saying, Kev.
Yeah, that could be tough. That could be tough.
All right, so I'm going to take DK Metcalf right there. Now,
You know what you do? You look at the over-under. What does Vegas say for the game?
Yeah.
And it's funny because that's what led me to go with Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, Vegas had him going for like 2 touchdowns plus. And I was like, dude, they really think he's going to have a good game. And I went with him, and he shed a freaking egg. 15 points, but yeah, it is what it is, man.
Shit on the
Right.
bag.
So, all right. So, Kev, now to the running backs. Let's see. I'm trying to get to it. Saquon Barkley, which I'm actually may substitute and put in Singletary. I haven't decided yet. But Saquon Barkley going up against D. Williams for the Chiefs. I think I have you, but I mean,
What are you kidding? Barkley doesn't do anything.
He's not playing Barkley. He's putting in.
I'm probably going to put in Singletary.
Devin Singletary, who might get like 6 carries. Come on. At
All right.
most, it's a push. At most, it's a push.
Singletary's
Right.
been laying it up lately, and you got Darrell Williams, who's a backup.
No, the Kansas City guy. He's starting again.
No, he's not. You got Clyde Edwards-Helaire in there.
Oh, sorry, wait.
Okay.
My running backs are Rashard Penny and Eli Mitchell. Where did Oh, so yeah. All right. Go ahead.
Then it's Chase Edmonds up against Melvin Gordon.
It's not a push.
No,
That's
Chase
a good one.
Edmonds. Chase Edmonds. The way he played last week, Chase Edmonds. For real. And it's
Chase
gonna be-
Edmonds was a
they're playing the
top
Cowboys.
12.
They're going to be scoring like crazy, both teams.
He was a top 12 running back before his injury, and that was without scoring touchdowns. His points, like per touch, is incredible. He got implemented into the game. You got to think that he's going to keep doing the same kind of, usage, and you got to worry about Chase Edmonds he's a very good back. And Arizona wants to score points right now. They're in attack mode, so they're going to try and get their points scored as quick as they can. And what we've seen out of Chase Edmonds, even just recently as last week, you can expect it to see again.
Kev, Kyle Pitts or Knox from Buffalo?
Dawson Knox.
They're playing each other, by the way. Both.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Pitts. You know why? Because
he's on your
as
team.
the season's going on, though, he's gotten the ball more and more and more, and he's starting to really – the kid's finally starting to catch a groove, and you can see how good
Oh, my God, Kevin, are you going to lose?
No, I'm not going to lose. Don't worry.
Next is the
What's-
flex player. I have Jalen Waddle. Kev, you have Rashad Penny.
I like Penny.
Not over Waddle, though. Not in that offense. I mean, Waddle is fucking –
Who's Miami playing?
What?
Tennessee.
Waddle. I mean,
Tennessee's defense is playing tough lately.
but how is
And
Waddle not the rookie of the year in the NFL?
Offensive? Hey, he's
Offensive.
Yeah. It's Mac Jones.
Over Waddle, though? Think about Waddle's stats. I mean, he's really been incredible. Right?
Yeah, they are, but it's quarterback's tougher position to play. And,
All right.
in fact, the Patriots won all those games.
All right, how about kickers? Zero line from Dallas for me. Robbie
Yep.
Gould from San Francisco for you.
Who cares? Yeah.
Defense, I got LA going up against Denver as of now, and you have New Orleans going up against Carolina as of now.
I like my matchup.
Yeah, I don't mind the Chargers going up against the Broncos either, though, because Broncos, what are they? Kev, overall, if we kept it the way it is right now, with Barkley in there, it says that I would win 140.83 to 138.92. That's pretty damn close, I must say.
Yeah, it's gonna be incredibly close. I just hope it's a very, very tight game. Because I don't want to blow you out. Because that won't be fun.
No, like I'm saying, I'm probably going to be done by the 1 o'clock game. Like after 1 o'clock, when it hits 4, I'll already be the champ.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be anticlimactic.
It's weird.
I'm
Like,
what?
The odd thing is you don't have a lot of decisions to make because your bench is so bad. But like I got Ayuk on the bench, I got Eli Mitchell on the bench, I got Michael Gallup on the bench, Dontre Hillier's on the bench, Tony Pollard's on the bench, Jerry Judy's on the bench. Like all these guys could start for like your team and just what any other team, and I got to figure out how to finesse this thing. So
Kevin.
I'll take a little while.
Yeah, if you do all your finessing, I'm just gonna run you over. That's how that's gonna go
Rex
down.
Burkhead had 145 yards in his best career day ever to beat me. 30 fucking points.
Exactly.
Fuck my life.
Exactly.
Fuck my life. Okay.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's what happened. Look, I've been saying this all along. That's what happened.
Yo, I guess I'll put it in Rexburg.
Stuff just happens. The next thing you know, teams win. And
I was like, this is great. Oh.
Started him too. That's what's crazy. I was like, I'm gonna start him. All right, let's just try to get through as much NFL as we can.
Yeah, we gotta go fast. Oh, yeah, we gotta start basketball. Let's go.
Yeah, I know. Let me just touch on a couple of games. I want to touch on the Monday night game first of all. All right. First of all, let's talk about the Sunday night game. Did the Cowboys beat the inboxes by enough? They won 56-14. Seeing 56 makes me think of like basketball at halftime. Like it was an unbelievable points scored game. Are the Cowboys this good, or did the inboxes just lay down like dogs?
I want to know why. Like, why did they do this? The Cowboys, their offense has been like stuttering and stumbling for the last like 4 weeks at least, and all of a sudden they get the inboxes and they 56. Like they had them blown out 10 minutes into the game, and I still don't know why. Like I don't think this solves all the Cowboys' problems. I think it does put the football team to sleep for the rest of the season. But I don't get why they scored this many points. Is that a weird thing to say? Because I don't.
I don't know. Matt, what do you make of this? But the Cowboys scoring that many points. What was that?
They were just trying to add it on. They definitely are trying to send a message. They hatred. Divisional. It's good stuff.
I think the other thing was like everyone like us has been saying Cowboys offense is stuck. They can't get out of first gear. They can't do this. They can't do that. So like they were like the hell with it. We're gonna drop 56 on the inboxes. That was that.
Can I just state one other thing? So if you remember at the very beginning of the year, we were talking about the Steelers and how bad we thought they were in general, like how bad Roethlisberger was. But then we started talking about their coach and how they've never finished on the 500.
Yeah.
And then we actually made a joke about how they're going to pull that off this year with, the 17th game. And then they go and get a tie. So
yeah,
right now they're 7-7-1. You realize that, right? Like the Steelers, if they win one and lose one and end up 8-8-1, is that 500?
Yep.
Is that less?
Depends how you do the math, but it's not a winning record. Let's put it that way.
But not a losing record.
Yeah.
Would that not be amazing? Are you guys not amazed that the first year that we went to 17 games, if the Steelers continued that streak with an 8-8-1 record?
I think that would be a winning record because you do get points for a tie.
Yeah, it's not a losing record is what I'm saying. But, like, Who would have thought they could get – in other words, what I'm saying is he's never finished on the 500. And, like, there's an odd number of games this year. So
it's like the Steelers, though. They get a tie every year. It's so crazy. Like, how many years do they have a tie? You know,
But, Matt, what I'm saying is every other year before this year was an even number. So if it was, like, 16 games, they were 8-8. If you played 20 games, they'd be 10-10. This year was 17 games. You know what I mean? You can't be 8.5 and 8.5.
Well,
but what these fucks are gonna do, they're gonna finish 8-8-1. Kevin, I'm blown away by this. Actually, if this happens, I'm gonna be such a fan. Like the fact that they did it again.
But the weird thing is, they still only won 8 of 17 games, so it's not a winning record.
But it's not a losing one.
It's not a losing one either. Exactly. So what is it? Like, what is it? How do you? So if you're Tom, you say I've never had a losing record.
Never.
But you can't say I've always had a winning record.
No, I think that's a winning record.
I don't think it is.
I think it's the greatest record I've ever heard of. How about that? The fact that this guy's gonna go 8-8-1, and I really hope they do go. By the way, you have no idea how hard I'm rooting for 8-8-1. Like, I'm going to make a T-shirt that says 8-8-1. We did it again. You know what I mean? Like, Steelers. That's what you should say. You know what I mean? All right. What do you guys got to say to wrap it up? I know we went off on a bunch of tangents, but that's okay. There's no Thursday night games. We didn't have to give anybody any picks. What are you going to say going into Sunday's show, Matt?
Congratulations on the victory, King. Good luck in the championship as well as you, brother. Genius. And my condolences once again to the family. And I'll talk to you guys. See you guys soon. And be good.
Kev?
Three things. First one, rest in peace, Felicia Lepre. My family is, it's been hard. Jeff, my mom, Holly, all extended, thoughts to you. Anyone that's met her, loved her, and always smiled and told a good story. So condolences on Felicia's passing. That's number one. Number two, all that said, I'm probably still going to beat you in the legit bowl. It's no offense. It's what I do. It's just what I do. So we're going to leave it at that, and I'll stop there.
So we are having services next Friday, which I don't remember the date of next Friday, from 5 to 7 at Pontarelli's. Just visitation for the ashes of my mom. But I was they wanted me to come up with a quote, like maybe a quote that my mom used, and I couldn't come up with a quote that I didn't have swear words in it. The quotes I came up with were, "Shoulda get off the pot," "Go piss up a rope," "Your sister's ass," and my favorite when someone gets hurt in football: drag them off, shoot them up, send them back in. Where do I get my cynicism from? Well, you just found out. Hey, for the Genius Kev, from Master Thomas, it's me, Mike Lepre. This was legit fantasy football on a Thursday night. We will see you again on Sunday. Give us 3 minutes. Stay tuned, and we will have legit fantasy basketball. Thank you. We are out.